What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of The Opinion, and let's get right into it. Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Sooners, the college football team, they have an offensive coordinator problem, and unfortunately, I have to go there. The problem that they have is with Jeff Lebby, and I'm just going to lay this out. I'm going to try not to make this too long, but make sure you guys like, subscribe, but make sure more importantly you like this video so it circulates and the algorithms get up, because I want other Oklahoma fans to hear this, and because I think I think everybody's pretty much in agreement that Jeff Lebby needs to go, but people kind of need to know why. And after you get through listening to my take on it, you'll understand exactly why Oklahoma at the end of the season, at the very least, should make a change at offensive coordinator, either by demoting Jeff Lebby, or maybe even if Jeff Lebby decides just to walk away, resign, or go to another school. That would be in best interest of all parties involved as well. So let's get right into it. So the Oklahoma Sooners have now suffered their second straight defeat in the 2023 season, after a season that started off with a lot of promise, especially after beating Texas and beating them in the fashion that they did, when almost, nobody except for Oklahoma Sooners fans were giving Oklahoma credit. Oklahoma then proceeds to go on a bye week, and then the last 3 weeks, Oklahoma's played UCF, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. Now, all three of these teams, none of these teams have the top defenses in the Big 12. None of these three teams are ranked among the top defenses within the Big 12, but although after they played Oklahoma, you would have thought that all three of these teams had a pretty decent defense, and you'd have thought that based off of how Oklahoma struggled to I wouldn't say move the ball, but Oklahoma struggled to score against these teams. Oklahoma turned the ball over versus all three of these teams, one to UCF and then three apiece to Kansas, and then as well as Oklahoma State, which you cannot do. And when you start searching for the answers of why Oklahoma's offenses seems to struggle, I can only point to one thing, and it is Jeff Lebby. It is the play calling. Oklahoma has the players. They have the offensive linemen. Is it the greatest offensive line Oklahoma's had? No. But Oklahoma has the players. They have the quarterback. I believe they even have the running backs. We've seen the running game pick up. That's the one positive over the last 3 weeks, that the running game has picked up. And they have the wide receivers. They have the quarterback. They have a good enough quarterback to get it done. But the offensive coordinator is not allowing his quarterback, who's completing 71% of his passes, 9% better than he did last year, who is completing those intermediate passes that he couldn't hit last year. It was either something short or something long, but anything in between, Gabriel was not good at that in 2022. He's improved at that dramatically, and the offensive coordinator is not letting Dillon Gabriel essentially cook on third down, or he's not putting the ball in Dillon Gabriel's hands on third down. Prime example of that, look no further than the Oklahoma State game. At let me take you through the sequence. The very first play of the fourth quarter, Oklahoma State does something stupid. And actually, at halftime, I was talking to one of my friends, and I said Oklahoma State is going to do something stupid versus OU. They always do. They always open the door for OU to beat them. And Oklahoma State had a nice drive going at the end of the third quarter and then the start of the fourth quarter. And the very first play, they decide to run a halfback pass back to the quarterback. Well, that was covered up. So Ollie Gordon throws it down in triple coverage. Billy Bowman intercepts it, takes it all the way back to the Oklahoma 44. Oklahoma, in the ensuing possession, proceeds to run 4 plays and they have to punt. But on those 4 plays, they ran the first down play to Tawee Walker, which got 11 yards. Okay, so no harm, no foul there. You pick up 11 yards. You go back to it. It worked, right? You picked up 11 yards. They run a play to Tawee Walker again. It picks up 3 yards on first down. Second down, they run it to Tawee Walker again. It picks up 2 yards. So now we're at 3rd and 5. This is an obvious passing down because now Oklahoma's up 21-17. They can seize momentum in this game, go down to at the very least get a field goal, but hopefully you get a touchdown. You go up 28-17. It'd be very tough for Oklahoma State in the fourth quarter to come back down 2 possessions, but not impossible. And what does Jeff Lebby do on 3rd and 5? He runs the ball again. They get no gain, and then ultimately Oklahoma pooch punts it the next play pins Oklahoma State deep, and then the rails fall off. You had some officiating errors, I believe, and then Oklahoma the rails just fell off, and that was the perfect time to take advantage, and they didn't. But you know what? That's not the first time, and the reason why Jeff Lebby, I think, needs to go, because that's not the first time on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. He's done that. He's done it actually every time, actually every game that he's coached at Oklahoma since last season. He's done that. Now, sometimes, very few times, does OU actually convert on those. Remember, last year they had a better running game, and they would run and then get stopped, and then it'd be 4th and 1, and then all of a sudden on 4th and 1, they get stopped in the backfield, turnover on downs. And then sometimes Brent Venables had no confidence they were going to convert on 4th down, so he would just punt the ball. But my point is that what is the point in running the ball on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8? Just pass the ball. That is an obvious passing situation. Another reason, if you stick right there when he likes to run the ball and play conservative ball on 3rd downs, that is not going to work in the SEC. Oklahoma fans, you have to realize that what conference you're going to. You're going to be playing against Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, LSU, Auburn, Ole Miss. Those teams have pretty good players on the defensive line and in the front 7. You're not going to convert those 3rd and 5s very often running the ball. Now, if you pass the ball, you got a much better chance. Much like they do in the NFL on 3rd downs. They pass the ball probably 90% of the time on 3rd downs because they have a better chance of, if it's 3rd and long. Now, if it's 3rd and short, 3rd and 1, sure, you know, anything's on the table. Run, play action fake, roll out, anything's on the table. But 3rd and medium to 3rd and long, which is like 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, they pass the ball. But Jeff Lebby wants to constantly run the ball on 3rd downs a lot and take the ball out of his quarterback's hands, who I thought versus Oklahoma State, outside of the interception, which was a bonehead play, I thought Dylan Gabriel was very efficient. He actually hit a few receivers and they dropped passes, but I thought he was very efficient, and he didn't even give Dylan Gabriel an opportunity to convert that 3rd down there as well. Another thing, Jeff Lebby, which he didn't do versus Oklahoma State, but he's done it, and he's going to come back to it. He loves to run the jet sweep. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked since he's been at Oklahoma, but he loves to run the jet sweep. That's not going to work versus Alabama and Georgia. Kirby Smart, they would feel relieved if they knew that 4 or 5 jet sweeps in a game were coming, and if you were going to run the ball a couple of times on a couple of crucial 3rd and mediums to 3rd and longs, they would feel relieved. They'd say, "Oh, I'm glad they didn't pass it. Now give us the ball back on this punt." So you have to look at the conference in which you're going to, and do you have confidence that Jeff Lebby, if he can't get his offense together versus UCF, Kansas, and Oklahoma State, who are some of the worst defenses in the Big 12, and he actually made them look good, what is he going to do when he has to go up against Alabama? Because the MO on Jeff Lebby, folks, I mean, we just have to be honest here. The results are out there. This isn't me hating. I actually hate doing this video because I never want to call for someone's job or anything like that, but he is in a performance-based business. And if any of you guys are in performance-based businesses where you're in sales, hey, if you don't go out there and perform in sales, that company's likely not going to keep you. I mean, after a while, they're going to do performance reviews with you, and then after a while, you will be let go. So Jeff Lebby is in a performance-based business, and the performance is just not up to the standard that Oklahoma should expect from its offensive coordinator. He does not seem to have a feel for the game. He just doesn't. His play calling tendencies are off. The only time he actually starts calling plays and running and passing in the right cadence is when his team gets down. But if you notice, when his team takes a lead, the play calling goes out the window. What was working before, he doesn't do it. He doesn't go back to it in that same cadence. He then wants to get too cute, swing passes, trick plays, and all of these things and all of the above. In the Kansas game, OU was down 14-0. They rallied 21 unanswered. In the Oklahoma State game, Oklahoma was down 17-7. They rallied 14 unanswered points to go up by 4. But once Oklahoma gets that lead, if it's by 7 or if it's by 3, the offense just sputters out of the way. On top of that, penalties. That is a reflection of the offensive coordinator. Now, ultimately, it is a reflection of the head coach because he's the CEO of the whole team. But that is a reflection of the offensive coordinator. And like I said, you have to keep in mind the conference that you're going to, which is the SEC. Games might be a little bit tighter, and there's going to be a lot more crucial third downs in close ball games, either where you have a slight lead or the other team has a slight lead, and you're going to need to convert those. And then how upset is it going to make you if he calls run plays, just giving the ball back to the other team as well? Now I'm saying this on the heels of Lincoln Riley finally deciding to fire Alex Grinch, which probably came a year too late. Do you want Oklahoma to have to get rid of Jeff Lebby a year too late? Because if that happens, think about this. If you have to get rid of Jeff Lebby, that means you're losing games in the SEC. Now people are going to start looking at Brent saying, well, his job's on the hot seat. That is not the direction that this program wants to go, to possibly have to replace a head coach who I believe, myself included, that all Oklahoma fans are pretty confident that the head coach can get it done, because we've seen the defense make the strides. But really, offensively, I don't think the offense really has made the strides. If anything, the offense is the exact same as it was last year. And I want to wrap up here by saying, just think about this. When Jeff Lebby plays UTEPs of the world and Arkansas States and Tulsas of the world, his offense looks phenomenal. But if you can go all the way back to last year, anytime he plays a Power 5 team, his offense goes down. His offensive production goes down. It really goes down. Like, they struggle to even get 40 points. Go back to last year. And yeah, are Power 5 teams better than Arkansas State? Yes, but not all Power 5 teams have good defenses. And that's the thing. I can remember back, when, offensive coordinators in years past, if they were playing against a Power 5 team that didn't have a good defense, they put 50 on those guys, 45, 500 yards. Offense looked crisp. His offenses struggle, and you're going to a conference that is traditionally known for better defenses, and they're going to have better athletes on a week basis than what you're playing in the Big 12. And you cannot take this guy over to the SEC and think that you're going to win based on the habits that you've seen. You've seen it. We've seen the too many jet sweeps. We've seen him get too cute. We've seen him run too much on third and mediums and third and longs. He ain't going to change. He ain't going to change. It's the old saying. It's the old saying of what happens early happens often. You remember that phrase. What happens early happens often. And it's been happening early with Jeff Lebby, and it's happened often with Jeff Lebby. And that is a sign that things are not going to change. So I think that Jeff Lebby at the end of the season should just walk away and resign, or go his way, Oklahoma go their way, and bygones be bygones, and everybody will be in a better place. But leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about Jeff Lebby, and what do you think? What do you think Oklahoma should do with Jeff Lebby? And like I said, hit the like on this video, because I really want this to get around to the Oklahoma fans, because at the end of the day, I want this to get around to the rest of the Oklahoma fans, because at the end of the day, I think I make a lot of sense here. And I think once people hear this, it'll make a lot of sense to them. And for those last little bits that are still like Al Ashbacks of the world, who doesn't have the balls to really just call the game and call out coaches the way that he should, instead he hangs up on people after the game. But if people listen to this, they will really come around, if they're still hanging on that Jeff Lebby could still be the guy. I think that they will finally come around and say, nope, he can't. Oklahoma needs to move forward. Hey, I just want to put it out there. They might already have, an offensive coordinator that is capable right there in their own building, in Seth Luttrell, who happens to be an offensive analyst. He's actually been an offensive coordinator and a head coach before. So they might actually have somebody who could do the job even better than Jeff Lebby right there in their own building. Who knows? I haven't heard anything. I'm just putting it out there. But other than that, leave your comments below. And other than that, I'm out.